In the series, I request Revered Swami Muktidanandaji Maharaj, who is head of our Ramakrishna Ashrama Mysuru, and he is also a trustee of the Ramakrishna Mat Belur and is a member of governing body of the Ramakrishna Mission. I request Revered Maharaj to kindly come and guide all of us.
Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhur Muhur. Namashriyati Rajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satya Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu Sri Ramakrishna Sharanam. My respectful pranam to most revered President Maharaj, and seek his blessings on this auspicious day of Swami Narendra Jayanti. Respectful pranams to Swami Vivekananda Maharaj, head of this center, and thankful to him for his kind and generous hospitality and inviting me to this beautiful, momentous program. The inauguration of this beautiful institute of Human Excellence. Respectful pranams to Vishnupadanji Maharaj, head of the Aurangabad Center. My loving pranams to Shuddhidanji Maharaj and also to Jnanapratanji Maharaj. Pranams to all the elderly monks and love and good wishes to younger monks, brahmacharins, and my dear assembled devotees of Pune Ashrama. This inauguration of this Institute of Human Excellence is a much needed facility in the context of present day youth, elderly people needing higher ideas, how we can make our human life more meaningful on this earth. Swami Vivekananda has given such wonderful, inspiring, uplifting ideas which needs to be churned, which needs to be reflected, which needs to be brought into our life by having such institutes along with academic excellence, excellence in science and technology. We need to learn human values, without which definitely life is going to be miserable. Whatever be the progress and civilizational march in seeking comforts and in science and technology and various other spheres, unless we human beings learn to behave as good human beings, compassionate, and have that spiritual inclination, the spiritual knowledge, which means behind the body and mind and ego, there is divinity within. This fundamental knowledge of spirituality, which means there is divinity within, which is the undying, eternal content of this personality. That is the purpose of Swami Vivekananda's teaching, and the central teaching, divinity of the soul. And the topic under discussion today is Swami Vivekananda's contribution to the world culture. Swami Vivekananda's going forth to America, Chicago, and addressing the Parliament of Religion is in fact meeting of the East and the West. And Indians' age-old Sanatana Hindu spiritual culture has been for the first time taught to the West, explained to the West in a vocabulary, in a terminology intelligible to them, and the hidden treasures of knowledge, which is so ennobling, which is so uplifting, which is so broad-based, which is based on truth, based on higher values of life, is given to the Western audience by Swami Vivekananda, who was the first spiritual ambassador of India, to go abroad and preach the Indian spiritual culture, when West has known India as a subjugated country under the foreign rule. Series of attacks after attacks, this country was pulverized. And this was dominated by all hostile forces. And Indian culture, because it was in a receiving end. And at that time, a personality like Swami Vivekananda goes abroad and conquers the Western mind, which was dominated by Greco-Roman culture and the limited inputs of Semitic religion. West had a great mind to know the truth. That is why they have progressed in the science. Science is an objective search for the truth, the world outside. That is why they could discover many things, invent many things. That brilliant mind was need of not the dogmatic religion, not the limited faith-based religion which is a kind of a intellectual confinement and emotional confinement. And going of Swami Vivekananda and conveying to the Western world, here is India, which has a tremendous treasure house of knowledge, which has the experience of the divine beyond the body and mind and ego. There is divinity. And the concept of religion, Swami Vivekananda transformed and gave a new religious ideal. That religion is search for truth. Religion means brotherhood, compassion, and Swamiji announced at the fag end of his address in Parliament of Religion that the bell that tolled this morning should be the death knell of all dogmatism and bigotry. So thereby Swamiji ushered in and conveyed to the West, India has something special to be given to the Western world in the form of a higher spiritual religion which is centered in seeking God, loving God, and experiencing God. So, Indian religions, as Shankaracharya says, its basis is anubhuti, not mere faith, not mere words, not mere philosophy, which is nothing but a fabrication of human mind. But it is possible to experience the divine. And based on his Guru Sri Ramakrishna's experience, which is like a spiritual laboratory, Narendra was a perfect instrument of the divine to be a world teacher. He has come down to the earth as seen by Sri Ramakrishna only to teach the world. He was the Rishi. Sri Ramakrishna says that Narendra will teach the world. When he was a young student, he was coming to Dakshineshwar as his disciple. And Narendranath at that time wondering how Sri Ramakrishna could tell all those. So, Sri Ramakrishna could see in Narendra a world teacher, Narendra's upbringing, his mother telling him about the Indian spiritual culture. From his father he got the rational reasoning mind. He read the Kant and Hegel and understood the Western philosophy. He was a student of logic, student of science. And under the tutelage of Sri Ramakrishna, he experienced that the highest pinnacle of the spiritual experience, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, with such spiritualized mind, equipped with all the knowledge of the world. Swamiji, as a wandering monk, and he trotted the entire globe. Mahapurush Maharaj says he saw the world like a palm of his hand. So Swamiji was being shaped by the destiny, by his master, by his own upbringing, and he was to be a world teacher. And the greatest personality of this millennium. And we should understand this aspect of Swamiji. See, it is Swamiji's personality, understanding Swamiji's personality and understanding Ramakrishna, Vivekananda together and the various dimensions of the personality will tell us that how we need to really understand Swami Vivekananda as a world teacher. Then only we will understand his contribution to the world culture, his contribution to the entire human race, his contribution to the India. Sri Ramakrishna made him the leader of the Ramakrishna movement, Sangha. Ramakrishna made him the leader of the world. Ramakrishna made him the spiritual master and spiritual leader. So, we have to understand Ramakrishna's Narendra and Narendra's Ramakrishna. then there will be a revelation of many, many important aspects of Swamiji. In fact, Swamiji surveyed the gamut of great ideas that emerged from the cave days to the modern times in the human intellect, surveyed them all. His knowledge was encyclopedic. Even the theoretical knowledge, apart from being the spiritual experience, his theoretical knowledge, his understanding of the world was perfect and complete. He knew the nature of human being. He knew the nature of the mind. He knew the entire history of mankind. He was a student of psychology. He was a student of science. And he garnered all knowledge of all colors and shade. And he separated essential from non-essential, grain from the chaff, and integrated the knowledge with the present day relevance and futuristic vision. And that is why we find in Swami Vivekananda tremendous synthesis of knowledge. Romarola says, Swamiji's works and ideas can be summed up in 2 words: equilibrium and synthesis. We have to understand what exactly is the synthesis, how difficult it is to integrate seemingly opposite poles of ideas. Ideas which are one against the other, so different from each other. So that is why the world was divided. World was parochial, world is dogmatic, and world is full of so many fragmentary approach to the knowledge. So here is Swami Vivekananda, who was the integrator of knowledge. And we could see in Swamiji's works about 14 syntheses, 14 types of synthesis we can see. Swamiji synthesized work and worship, science and religion, East and West, tradition and innovation, ancient and modern, secular and spiritual, faith and reason, jnana and bhakti, individual and collective, meditation and service, worship of God with form and God without form, patriotism, love for the country, and universalism, love for the world, moksha, liberation, and Jagathita, well-being of the world, Tattva and Anushtana. If you see Swamiji's idea of practical Vedanta, Swamiji's idea of worship of God in man, Swamiji's ideas of karma yoga, and Swamiji's idea of synthesis of the science and religion, and giving religion a status of spiritual science. Science, the so-called science is objective search for the truth outside, and spirituality is subjective search for the truth within. So Swamiji synthesized both. So Swamiji gave a status of science, an instrument of knowledge, to know the truth of our being. And Western entire civilization is based on dichotomous nature of personality. That human personality consists of body and mind only. They had no concept of the consciousness or spirit, which is a subtle aspect of the human personality, or the third aspect of the human personality. Swamiji, from the Indian Upanishadic wisdom, gave it to the West, the concept of Atman, the consciousness, as the third dimension of the human personality. So, the Oriental, the Indian approach or understanding of the human personality is trichotomous. So Swamiji gave this holistic approach to the world thought. This is why we can see Swamiji's contribution to the world thought and world culture are manifold, immense. And what he really spoke is a great addition to the world culture. What Swamiji did, what Swamiji spoke, what Swamiji's vision was all is a great contribution to the world culture. And finally, Swamiji integrated and gave us 3 types of worship. Worship of God in temple. Worship of God in meditation. And worship of God through service of man. Shiva Bhave Jiva Seva. 3 worships are synthesized, 3 types of worship. So, we see worship of God in temple is an important aspect of religious life. Sri Ramakrishna's experience of Mother Kali indicates the zenith of the fruition of worship of God in temple. But it was in order to get that experience, Sri Ramakrishna did the worship of God in meditation through prayer and his continuous years of yearning for God. So worship of God in temple, worship of God in meditation, and then Swamiji understood this Neo Vedanta, practical Vedanta. If there is divinity in every one of us, we see God in meditation within us. There is divinity in everybody. So, any service that is given from one to other can be with an awareness that there's a divinity within, is nothing but a worship of God through service to mankind, especially to the poor, needy and downtrodden. So this kind of a synthesis of worship Swamiji advocated, and this kind of a innovative, realistic, synthetic, progressive ideas and approaches and the vision of Swamiji is the greatest contribution to the world culture. Swamiji has really enriched the world culture in many, many ways, as we saw in this 14 synthesis. And he shifted that our approach to the study of human being should be from dichotomous to trichotomous. It is not enough we consider ourselves as a death-bound entities with only body and mind. There is this eternal, undying content, spirit, consciousness, Atman, divinity within us. So that is why he said, potential divinity. Divinity of the soul. And as he said to Khetri Maharaja, Khetri Maharaja and Swamiji discussed many things nearly for a number of days. At the end of the discussion, Maharaja asked Swamiji, can you tell me so many things you have discussed, wonderful things. Please tell me, what is this sum and substance of your summary of all that we have discussed, what that you have told, and also your mission in life? Swamiji, just few moments of deep thinking, he immediately comes out with this particular famous statement, that to preach unto mankind their inherent divinity and make it manifest every moment of their life is my mission. To preach everybody that there is divinity within you. You are not only the body and mind, there is a divinity within you which we need to recognize, experience through a path of yoga. So this Yoga Vedanta was a greatest contribution of Swamiji. So thereby we need to identify divinity within us. That was the central teaching of Swami Vivekananda, and it is the greatest contribution to the world thought. And so Swamiji's lectures and tours and interactions abroad are somehow became a mirror in which India rediscovered her true image. And Indian inferiority complex, India as a subjugated race at that time, India is there with this treasury of knowledge and a great culture of hundreds of years of legacy is there to conquer the world and not to be subjugated by repeated attacks on the Indian spiritual culture. So Swamiji strengthened the Indian, the culture, Indian position in the world, and in nutshell, his contribution to the world thought is, one is potential divinity, basic solidarity of life and its oneness. Microcosm and macrocosm are built on the same pattern, service of God in man and harmony of religion. These are the very important core ideas Swamiji worked on, and his approach was synthetic, that bring together apparently contradictory thing and find out the common basis of this knowledge and make it relevant to the present and to the future. And this is how, that is why Swamiji's ideas have tremendous power. His ideas are timeless. That is why, though he spoke all these things, his language, everything, about 100 years ago, they are more relevant today, and it will be going to be more relevant in future. So the perennial power of Swamiji to penetrate into the human mind and transform the human personality is his greatest contribution to the world culture. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Swami Srikantanandaji Maharaj, for giving this opportunity. I am sure this beautiful Institute of Human Excellence, today inaugurated by His Holiness Most Revered Swami Prasanna Maharaj today, is going to serve thousands of people, thousands of youngsters who come here and derive inspiration from Swamiji's great inspiring ideas and transform their life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Revered Swami Muktidananda Maharaj, for your very thought-provoking speech. Revered Maharaj has mentioned that how can we make our life meaningful, and during his speech he made a very beautiful point about what Romero has said about our Swamiji, that is equilibrium and synthesis, and how Swamiji has synthesized the opposite ideas. Actually, it is, to me, it feels it was the extension of the idea with Swami Gyanavardhanji Maharaj has mentioned, that the synthesis which made by Swamiji was the science and religion, ancient and modern, secular and spiritual, jnana and bhakti, individual and collective, and meditation and service. Very beautifully he mentioned those points. We are grateful to Revered Maharaj for kindly taking pains to travel all the way from Mysuru to Pune to attend this function. I would like to mention one more point about Revered Swami Muktidananda Maharaj, that he is working hard on value education programs in Karnataka. Also, he is making one institute in Mysuru on Swamiji's idea. One more point, that Revered Maharaj he knows Marathi well. Whenever we monks, those who know Marathi, we meet him, often he talks with all of us in Marathi. So we are grateful to Revered Swami Muktidananda Maharaj for his deliberation.